Hey, what is up YouTube? Angry here. Today for our Friday analysis video, we have the next Tapu in line, Tapu Lele. This thing is super strong on Hyper and like more Psychic spam teams, like people with like Mega Alakazam and Deoxys attack. That's a pretty popular Hyper offensive team to run this with. Other Hyper offensive teams that really appreciate having Psychic terrain, preventing the priority moves, because a lot of frailer teams are weak against stuff like Scizor and whatnot. But with its Psychic terrain, they can't abuse like Bullet Punch, or you can't use Mach Punch and other things. It's super helpful. But so our first set here with the choice packs, actually for I'll go over a little bit more in detail the overall thing first. We have a few different sets. Most of them have kind of similar moves, but each set, because the item is actually pretty different. But for our first set here with Tapu Lele, Psychic, Moonblast, Hidden Power Fire, and Psyshock on the choice spec set. You might be thinking, why Psychic and Psyshock? Most of the sets won't actually run this. Psyshock does a great damage against a lot of things that it wouldn't, most other sets can't do. The choice specs make it actually strong enough to do good damage against, especially defensive Gastrodon, Chansey. Other sets, if they run Psyshock, if the Chansey has defense bulk, the Psyshock won't do nearly enough to justify it. But you might as well just run Psychic at that point, because Chansey's going to wall you out anyway. Hidden Power Fire for some steel types, stuff like Celestelia and Assault Vest Margiana can kind of still give you some issues, although Psyshock against Margiana doesn't do too bad. And then Moonblast helps against like the Psychics and Dark type people who want to switch in on Psychic. And then obviously Moonblast is weak against Poison, but then you have Psychic and Psyshock for that. Not that you'd be switching on Toxapex against Tapu Lele anyway, but it's there. For this set we do run Speed Nature. It's pretty important to be outspeeding non-choice Scarf Landistarians and other things that are around the 90 base speed. Pretty important. And also for like special attacking nature Hydreigons, which are pretty rare, but if you get the outspeed on them anyway, it's pretty nice. Again, I heard most of the moves here. Let's move on to the second one, a Choice Scarf set. This is the more traditional set. I prefer the Choice Specs Wall Breaking set. This one's obviously used more for revenge killing and then for late game cleanup. But as the first one's more for wall breaking, obviously. Choice Scarf, Moonblast, Psychic, Hidden Power Fire, and Thunderbolt. Instead of Thunderbolt, you can run Focus Blast, but I feel like it's kind of a little redundant on some of the things that it's there for. Chansey is probably going to wall it out anyway. On this set, you might see that we also are running Speed Nature as well. It's pretty important to be outspeeding other like Choice Scarf users in that area, like Choice Scarf Landistarian. It's super great to outspeed and beat there. Stuff like Mega Gyarados with a Dragon Dance up. You can go for the Moonblast and take it out. Super helpful. Or Thunderbolt if it's like weak enough to make sure it doesn't switch. But coverage here, Thunderbolt does great against Celestelia, Skarmory, Empoleon. Otherwise, your Psychic type moves will do better against like water and fighting type things anyway. So there's no point in going for the Thunderbolt. But that's for the few checks like that. Psychic and Moonblast again, just great stabs for it. Next set here with the Fightinium Z set. This is more of a kind of trick set. Moonblast, Psychic, Focus Blast, and Taunt. Taunt's super helpful against some of the things that usually wall it out. Celestelia, Skarmory, stuff like that. And then you can Focus Blast afterwards because they're not that common. And then the Fightinium Z can help you break through stuff like Celestelia. It's a one-time option. It can really, I think it's like 85 to 90% to Celestelia. The next one you can finish off with the Psychic. But for this one, we also run Speed Nature. You can run Special Attack Nature if you want. I think that'll let you get the one-hit KO on Celestelia, especially after Stealth Rocks. And it helps against stuff like Heatran. Oh, one thing for the Choice Back set, the Psychic on this actually 2-hit KOs Heatran after Stealth Rock damage. So that's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. This thing's definitely a huge wall breaker. Having the Psychic terrain up really boosts up the Psychic boost, or really boosts up the Psychic type moves, obviously. But it's really amazing what the kind of like damage calcs it can reach. Just from being in its own terrain. This set here, I wouldn't really recommend this set too much unless you're like, it's like more of like a, not a jack of all trades, but like a utility piece. If your team's already pretty complete, and you just want like one extra kind of thing to kind of mess with opponents and whatnot, and they make it like, get like nice momentum swing to your team, I'd probably run this, like catch someone off guard, but it's not going to like carry you through wins, I don't think, as much. And then I kind of came up with a set of my own here. It's kind of like more of a risky set, late game set, but it's also kind of bulky to tank some hits. Calm Mind, Substitute, Psychic, and Moonblast. Again, you got your 2 stabs. You have to make sure the Psychic, gotta make sure the steel types are taken care of by then. And obviously Chansey will still give you some pretty big issues. Although you can sub against it if it doesn't have Seismic Toss, and then it can't really do much to you. You can Calm Mind then up and Calm Mind, and again, you have to wait until like endgame to really do this. And this set actually runs a Special Attacking Nature. If you want more Special Defense bulk to reach a certain damage calc, go for it. I don't really think there was anything too worthwhile grabbing there, but it's up to you guys. Maybe like on Heatran's Flash Cannon or something like that. I don't really know. But up next, we'll go over some teammates, and then we'll go over how to defeat Tapu Lele. Okay, so obviously when you're looking at its teammate options, you see Psychic Terrain. Let's take advantage of that. Mega Alakazam, Mega Medicam, one of those two are pretty great to run with this thing because their Psychic Stab obviously comes great, and both those things really appreciate not being hit with priority moves, especially Mega Alakazam because it's pretty frail, but it is fast enough to outspeed just about anything else. Other than that, Deoxys Attack, I think that's still viable. Deoxys Attack, I could see running that. Psychic Boost in that is super scary, probably even one-hitting KOing a lot of things that resist, unless they're super specially invested. And other than that, there's like not too many other Psychic types I really think that would take advantage of it too much. I might be wrong on that one, but there's not that many Psychic types in OU at the moment. But other than that, things that like don't want to be prioritized against, so like stuff like Bisharp doesn't want to be like mock punched by like Conkeller and stuff like that, can be super helpful. And other things that are pretty frail in general, like Ash Greninja and whatnot, that don't want to be hit by priority moves. But other than that, things that it struggles against, even with the Choice Spec set, your Hidden Power Fire won't be able to kill some of the more especially defensive things. So stuff like Magnezone or Heatran are great partners because they go through amazingly well against the Steel types. Or like Zygarde, you can set up on most Steel types, like Ferrothorn, Skarmory, unless it has Whirlwind, and stuff like Celesteela. You can do setup with Substitute, and then start setting up coils with Zygarde, like I said. So those are both pretty good options for it. If you're running the Choice Spec set, or more like the Choice Scarf set, you want some kind of Stealth Rock support. So stuff like Ferrothorn is able to kind of set up on Steel types because most of the time they can't deal with him. Other things you want to look out for: Chansey if you don't have if you don't have Focus Blast or the Choice Specs with Focus Blast or Psyshock. You want some kind of answer to Chansey, so there's usually some kind of strong physical sweeper to kind of that will be able to take care of it. Mega Metacam. I cannot talk right now, guys. Mega Metacham would be a great partner for that aspect as well, and the fact that it can take out Chanseys and Blissies pretty well for it, and stuff like T-Tars, which can kind of do decently against it. If you have Focus Blast, obviously you're not too worried about T-Tar as well. But how to beat Tapu Lele? Things pretty easy. Like, again, with the Steel types, be careful what they switch into and whatnot. It really depends on what set they're running. It's kind of hard to really just check it. If you have some other kind of terrain user that kind of like weaken down its Psychic move, then you're pretty good against it. And Pokemon in particular, it's kind of hard to really wall it. I guess if it's not a Choice Scarf set, Ash Greninja can come in. This typing is just super annoying to really be super effective against. So it's really hard to just kind of take it out like that. I kind of wall it with a Steel type. Most teams have a Steel type or two. It gets hit by every kind of Stealth Rock stuff, so you can just Whirlwind it out, not really let it be too much of a threat. It's mostly just making sure that you're not gonna. It's making sure that it's not going to do major hits to your team, or not letting it go into like its teammates and then letting them blow through your team. Like, get a nice predict. If they think they're going to win the Mega Alakazam, go for the damage move against that instead. Don't go for the super effective move against Tapu Lele. That wouldn't be otherwise. Although, what is even Tapu Lele weak to? Yeah, that's a tough question. Steel, I guess. Steel's the only thing that's weak to, right? Because Fairy resists Dark. And Psychic resists Poison, so it's only weak to Steel. That's pretty broken, if you ask me. Stuff like Excadrill would be pretty good against it, especially on a Sand team. I think it would struggle against that a lot. A lot of the people on the Psychic types won't be able to deal with the Steel team, so if you run like more of like a bulky team like that, it'd be pretty good against it. But that's all I really have for you guys on Tapu Lele. Let me know if you have any other sets to run. I think I covered pretty much all of them, but maybe like a nice little niche use for a move or something like that. Maybe like new niche Z move or something that I didn't go over. Let me know, and hopefully you guys can check out our channel. We have a lot more analysis videos on like other Tapus. We have stuff on like Ash Greninja, Charizards. We have it for a lot of Pokemon, and they're coming out every week. So make sure you guys go out and check out those other videos. But otherwise, we'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.